Hey guys, welcome back. Ahmed here, A to Z Auto Masters. Today we got this 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee V6 with a 3.6 liter. It came in with a really bad oil leak, and we'll see where is that oil leak coming from. Okay guys, so we're under the car, and as you can see, I have oil everywhere here. The whole transmission is covered in oil. Same thing on the other side, if you look here. That's usually a very good indicator that the oil cooler is bad when it leaks all the way from up top and comes down the transmission like that. Oil coolers are usually right here. They go under the intake manifold. So to do this job, really we're gonna have to take all this out, intake manifold. I showed in a previous video how to remove the intake manifold to do the spark plugs on those cars. Basically, we're going to be doing the same thing, including removing the lower part of the intake manifold. As you can see, there's the oil filter housing right here, and the oil cooler run to the back. And if you look down here, you will see the oil pulling out. Basically it leaks inside here between the two heads and leaks, goes all the way back, and it leaks on top of the transmission. Okay guys, as I mentioned, I have a previous video about the same car, changing the spark plugs. So at any point it has a detailed information of how to get the intake manifold out. So at any point, if you need any information that's not in this video, you can go back to the previous video and look it up, or you can pause this video at any moment and just replay that part. We're gonna start by taking these two brackets off that holds the manifold down. Now there's the 13s down that hold the bracket on the bottom. We're gonna loosen these two 13s up also. Just loosen that wiring harness of the bracket, and you're gonna have this coolant line attached down there. Just pry it out. Those bottom bolts not all the way out, just slack enough to pull this bracket off the bolt here. As you can see, the bracket just came out. Just like so. Same thing with the back one. Okay, now we loosen that bolt. Same thing. Now the bracket is loose. Time to get to this side. We already have these two plugs out. We got the hose out. We have one more plug in the back. Okay. And now this vacuum hose here. And you have 10mm nuts that holds the bracket to the intake manifold. One here and one in the back. And that's the one in the back. Okay guys, so we got this bracket, the two nuts on this bracket loose, and we got the two brackets in the back here loose. Now, all the sensors, all the hoses are out. Now, it's time to take these 8mm bolts that hold the manifold down. We got all the bolts out. We can just lift up and slide out. Make sure those brackets are out of the way. Okay. Make sure you pull this harness out from here and the PCV hose. Okay, it's out. Get this insulator out of the way. We take the plugs out of all the ignition coils. Plug these. And now unplug the fuel injectors right there. Pull the locks. Okay, so we got all fuel injectors disconnected and all ignition coils disconnected. Now we're gonna take the harness out of the valve cover here. And same thing on this side. Now we can disconnect the fuel line from the fuel rail. It's back here. You take the lock out. Pull the lock out and you push on that locking mechanism. But before you do that, make sure you have a rag to absorb that gas that's gonna come out. Don't let it leak on the engine. And of course the engine been off for a while, it's cold. So right here. Now the rag absorbs all the gas. And now at this point we can take the lower intake manifold out, this part, with the fuel rail in it. So you have these bolts, 8mm again. Okay, so we have a total of 2, 4, 6, 8 bolts. Okay, holding the whole manifold down. Okay, we got this harness in the back of it. We just unplug the harness, slide them out, and now at this moment you can just take this lower intake manifold out. These gaskets are not good. I'm gonna change all of this at the same time. Here's the oil cooler right here, and as you can see, there is a lot of oil in the bottom there. Okay guys, so we'll take those 5 bolts out first so we can have a little bit of maneuver. Now I have the cooler loose so we can at least maneuver a little bit and look at these plugs. Now the hose clamp. To come out. Okay guys, so we got the new cooler here. That's the part number for the new cooler. This is original, complete. That's the lower gasket, and that's the upper gasket. As you can see, comes complete with the 2 sensors, all the gaskets and seals. It's ready to drop. Just take one out, put one in. Actually, also the oil filter. It comes with the oil filter inside. Okay guys, so before we install the new one, usually with a shop vac or a hand vacuum pump like that, you can just vacuum all this oil out. Okay guys, so we siphon all this oil and coolant out of here, and just with a carb cleaner we're gonna clean the surface where all the gaskets sit. And now we can just slide the new one in. Everything from here now, just the exact opposite. Everything in reverse order. Now just snug those bolts down. We got the new gaskets in here now. Just put everything back. we can attach these two harnesses back here. Put the fuel line back. Don't forget the lock. And now put the harness back. Okay guys, so we got the gasket, the new gasket back in place. Now slide this back in, plug the sensor, put the PCV hose back in the back. And now just slide it in. Make sure it slides into that bracket in the back. Okay guys, so basically everything is back in place. We made sure we drain the oil, put new oil. Okay, everything in place. Just we're gonna start it and get it running. Okay guys, so car is running beautiful. Okay, job is done, everything back in place. Go over everything a couple times, make sure you didn't forget anything loose. And that's basically it.